contacted me, one of the initial thoughts I had was something the Lord had taught me about a year or so ago. And I'll title it Avoiding Frustration in Leadership. For the amount of time that I will be speaking, I don't have an opportunity to give an intense background, but if I'm honest, there have been many times in my journey where frustration has built up, and if we're really honest, that often comes at the hand of some of the members or those we're ministering to. People can build frustration. The other side of it's true. The things you have the greatest hope for, the greatest excitement, and your passion can rise are also tied to that. So what can provide you the greatest excitement also is the thing that can provide you at times frustration. And so I want to give you a few thoughts that have really helped me and the Lord has used to help me to maybe try to avoid some of the pitfalls of frustration dealing with leadership. And one of them arrives from my mistake, such as trying to lead someone somewhere they don't want to go. Now, what I mean by that is that oftentimes someone will come either for a counseling in crisis or maybe as a minister or someone wanting to be in ministry, and they either share with you a problem that they're currently in or a goal that they would like to achieve one day, that long-term vision or that current location. And as you talk through with them, you immediately or quickly through discernment and being able to be a third person removed from the situation are able to see how to help them. However, sometimes your expectation of that situation is greatly different than theirs. And so let's take, for example, someone that has shared a vision for their future, a ministry, a role, something they sense God calling them into. And I attempt to help them get there and attempt to show them things to get them in that place. And as I do, I find I am frustrated. I find that they are getting frustrated. And about a year or year and a half ago, praying through a situation, the Lord really helped me see something different. And it was what I saw their present condition as is very different than what they saw it. I was trying to lead them to the same place they wanted to go. However, we both saw them at a different starting location. And so it's important that you have clarity not just of where they're going, but also where they see themselves at. So I am trying to ask better questions. Ask, where do you see yourself now? Where do you see you need the help at now? In other words, instead of me imposing what I think they need, seeking out what they see their greatest needs are. Those are the places that I have learned and are relearning that people learn and grow the most, and encourage them to seek out what it is they need. When I impose upon it, no matter how right I may be, sometimes, not always, but many times there's frustration occurs because they don't see it as important as I would see it. Essentially, you might could say it this way. You can't fix someone in an area that they don't think they need fixing. And so, of course, we're not the great fixers by any means, but we get that mindset that we're going to help fix this, whatever, again, it may be. And so the question really is asking them, what is it you need fixing? What do you see you need worked on? These are important. So clarifying those questions of where do you see yourself and asking as many details helps remove some frustration, and also understanding their current situation. Last example, and I'm going to move on to my second and final point, and is this, maybe it's even a family in crisis, and you see a long-term hope of where that family might could be and what goals they might could have and how it could work out, and you have this beautiful vision of what God could do. However, maybe they or maybe one of them only sees getting through that immediate crisis. And so their response is going to frustrate you, and your coaching them may frustrate them because you have a different destination you're trying to get them to. And so clarifying both sides of that I found is very important. It's very important as senior leaders of ministries and as of the church, but it also works very carefully with individuals. The second part of that for me was in that same frustration. The Lord also reminded me that I needed to do a better job of clarifying someone's investment. In other words, my mistake was I was expecting someone to invest more then they were willing to invest, or maybe that they felt like they should invest. And so they may have felt like they were achieving everything, but yet it wasn't meeting my expectations of investment. We had misaligned expectations. And so on the front end, when you're working with someone, clarify not only their goals and their visions, but also their expectations and the investment that they can make into these things, whatever it is, again, you may be working on. If you think of Jesus, when he brought healings, he didn't just go around and call out the things that they needed healing in most cases. He would often ask them, what do you need? What is it you come seeking? Or someone would share that with him, and he would meet the expectation. You'll find you'll have a lot less frustration when you ask, what is it you need? What can I help you with? And the second part of that, what is the investment you can make? What is the commitment you can make? And have no greater expectation than their willingness to commit. That will help you. So clarify their commitment or their investment. Simply, you cannot expect more out of someone than they are willing to invest. Let me repeat both of those. You cannot expect more of someone than they're willing to invest is a second statement I gave you. And then trying to lead someone somewhere they don't want to go. Those are some two pitfalls that the Lord has really helped me deal with some frustration. And so I encourage you to take calls of those and look at those. As I end this, again, thank you for the opportunity. I want to encourage you to not just be teachable, but one of the words the Lord has in my heart is we would use the word sponge, but I love the word catch. I want to encourage you to ask the Lord to help you catch more than you're taught. These moments are dynamic, but yet what you see in day-to-day ministry will even add greater value. So don't only be teachable, but catch things. Go to your leaders and ask them, show me, explain to me why you did this. Explain to me what's going on. Ask those questions, catch things, you'll learn more from it. And I pray God will bless you in that. As we end this, I want to ask you, is there an area that you as a leader that you need to reevaluate your investment? I hope you have a vision. I hope you have a clarity of where you're currently at in your ministry roles and what your present condition is. But are you making the investment in you, in your ministry, in your development to go from where you're presently at, an honest assessment of where you're presently at, to where you one day hope to be, the vision that you hope to achieve one day as the Lord leads you and guides you, not to climb the ladder as I know you hear about, but to become and develop and to grow as the person with a capacity for what God has called you to. Are you making the investment in you? I encourage you to do so. Pray about that and continue to invest in you, because God sees greater in you than you'll ever see in yourself. God bless you. Thank you again for the opportunity.